Hello friends, I am Dr. Naresh Agarwal. I welcome you all to this short video. This is an academic video and I have recorded this because for last more than 1 year we have not been able to hold CMEs and I thought you can watch it at your comfort. We are all aware about pancreatic collections which happen after acute pancreatitis, popularly known as pseudocysts or walled-off pancreatic necrosis, WOPN. Let us watch this video. What is new in the treatment of these collections? Till few years ago, major surgeries or percutaneous drainage were the main modalities for the treatment of such collections. But now guidelines have changed. What I am sharing in this video today is the endoscopy in the management of pseudocysts or walled-off pancreatic necrosis, which is now the latest modality of choice for this treatment. This does not require any incision or percutaneous puncture, and moreover, it has a very high yield of better outcome and very low complication rate. Today I am sharing this case, which is one of those many cases which we have been doing for last 2 to 3 years. This gentleman was 55-year. He developed acute pancreatitis after 4th day of the cholecystectomy and was brought to emergency on 2nd day of onset of pain. Since beginning, his course of pancreatitis was very severe. These were the parameters at the time of admission, and there was worsening of these parameters over the days in the initial part of hospitalization. His LFT was deranged and common bile duct was dilated, and MRCP which we did not show any calculi in the CBD, so we did not need any RCP. He required ICU care for initial 5 to 7 days. After that he was shifted to ward, and in 17 to 18 days period of hospitalization he was able to go home on liquid diet. During hospitalization, he had mild hemodynamic instability, paralytic ileus, sepsis, very high TLC and malnutrition because his intake was very poor. I called him after 1 week of discharge for a follow-up. He had recurrent vomiting, nausea, very poor oral intake. We gave him symptomatic treatment, prokinetics, PPIs, and sent him home back, and we called him again after 1 week. This was almost week 5 after the onset of pancreatitis. On next follow-up also he was having recurrent vomiting. We thought we will investigate what is happening. We did an ultrasound. On ultrasound there was a collection in the lesser sac which was around 500 ml. So we again gave him symptomatic treatment and we wanted to wait for some time. He was again called up in the follow-up in OPD. And on third follow-up, when the patient was persistently symptomatic, we thought we'll do an endoscopy. So here in this endoscopy, we see there is a compression on the posterior wall of the stomach. This arrow is indicating towards this compression. Even antrum and the entire cavity of the stomach is reduced. We did a CT scan and you can see these pictures. Large collection in the lesser sac, badly compressing the posterior wall of the stomach. So this time it was almost completion of 6th week after the onset of pancreatitis. We thought he requires treatment because such collections, if they are symptomatic, require drainage. Another risk of these collections being rich in amylase, these collections can involve arteries, particularly splenic artery, and can lead to formation of pseudoaneurysms. And the rupture of these aneurysms is catastrophic and sometimes fatal. What I am discussing today is the use of endoscopic ultrasound or EUS for treatment of such lesions. The advantage of EUS is that at the tip of the scope there is an ultrasound probe, and when we place it in the stomach, it can directly visualize the cysts. And the distance between the probe and the cyst is hardly 1 centimeter. And fortunately we have devices. One of such devices is hot Axios formed by Boston Scientific. The tip of this device is enabled with a cautery, and behind the tip, as you can see in this picture, behind the tip there is a small stent. When this tip is opened, the stent goes inside the cyst, and on withdrawal of the sheath, the stent is deployed. This stent is a metallic stent and is a self-expandable stent, is formed by nitinol. So what we did, we placed assembly in the channel of the scope. The control of that assembly was in our hands. We placed at the wall of the stomach, applied cautery, and immediately punctured the stomach wall and the cyst wall. Endoscopic ultrasound recording, large cyst. The device is entering in the cyst, and when we pull back the sheath of the device, the stent at the tip of the device opens up, and Both the flanges then are deployed, and when we pull back the device, both the flanges hold the stent inside the cyst cavity against the gastric wall. Another case, large cyst, the hot Axios device entering in the cyst, and when we pull it back, both the flanges open like this, and on further pulling back, it holds the stent inside the cyst. Similarly, the gastric flanges also are deployed and hold the stent on both the sides. A cystogastrostomy, draining most of the contents of the cyst immediately, and it can be aspirated by scope suction. And when opened fully, the diameter of these flanges is around 2.5 cm. We keep this stent in situ for 2 to 3 weeks, and during this period, most of the contents are aspirated in the stomach. After that, we remove it. Sometimes there are debris or necrotic material in the cyst, and during this period, we can drain them by our conventional endoscope. After 3 weeks, we removed the stent. Total procedure takes around 15 minutes. Patient do not require general anesthesia. We give mild sedation, and the procedure is usually a day care procedure. His oral intake improved markedly, and he started walking around, was gaining some energy to do his routine activities. His biochemistry hemogram also settled down. Complete resolution of the cyst, and these images are just before removal of the stent. The stent is seen here, both the flanges. The cyst is decompressed and one flange is in the stomach. Few cases develop fever after the procedure because the cyst gets infected by the gastric contents, but more than 90% of the patients respond to course of oral antibiotics. This procedure, EUS assisted cystogastrostomy, is now the modality of choice, at least in tertiary centers where EUS is available and appropriate expertise is available. The cost was initially high. Now the cost is coming down because more and more companies are forming the device. I thank you all for watching this video. If you have any comments or suggestions or queries, you can write in the comment box below, or you can write directly to me on my email. I thank you all again for sparing time to watch this video. Thank you so much.